All right, I think I'm back. This is my third attempt to go live. TikTok keeps crashing. I think it might be my sheer beauty. I think when your hair is this stunning, TikTok can't handle it, can't handle the beauty. And I think it's been crashing the stream. Or I'm being hacked. Could be the hacks. So anyway, if you're live here, this is the AI Learning Lab. This is my third attempt to go live tonight. Maybe three's the charm. That little image there, project called Kyle Shannon Dreams. I've got a bunch of them in there. There's like thousands of them. Oh, there's me as a chick. Yeah, there's one. That's like an. I think the prompt for that was like make an advertising dude. So it made like an advertisement with a sleazy like Mad Men kind of advertising dude. If you have questions about AI, I'm happy to answer them. If you can see me and this is live, tap the screen to show me like the little heart buttons that you can see this and that it's actually live. And then if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. I will do my best. Thank you for tapping. There's at least 16 of you here. Hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. Coming 2024. What's coming in 2024, bruh? Yeah, keep, let's see, what to talk about. I like talking about all things AI. I do my best to get people up to speed on what this stuff's all about. Let's do this. We were supposed to talk. Were we? Maybe. Send me another DM if we were supposed to talk and I didn't arrange it. I have a lot going on. And I have ADHD, so when stuff drops out of my awareness, it goes. I want to learn about AI. Where to start? Okay, so so I created some TikToks. If you go look at my TikToks, there's a lot there, so you're gonna have to dig through them. But I did a couple of them called the 2023 Smart Challenge, and I woke up at kind of 3 a.m. one morning where I think that we are all going to need to get 2023 smart, and which basically means like have some semblance of a clue about AI, start using these tools. And so the 2023 Smart Challenge was this. It was 3 points. The first point was use ChatGPT to do 2 projects, one for you personally and one for someone else. So it might be your family, it might be a community center or community group, it might be your work. And one for yourself. So the self one might be come up with a meal plan or come up with an exercise plan, a weight loss plan, whatever it might be. Learn something new. For work, it might be come up with a marketing plan. So that's step 1 is do 2 projects where you're trying to solve a specific problem using ChatGPT. The second one is make 10 images using AI image generation tools. For no other reason than to just experience what it's like to type in a prompt and have it generate something out of nothing, it's a remarkable experience. And if you haven't done it, you should do it. And then the third thing to do in the 2023 Smart Challenge is tell people what you've learned. So like get curious about it, start playing with it, and then tell people what you've learned. And a follow-up question I just saw there is ChatGPT an app? It's a website. It's technically an application, but it's on a website. So if you go to chat.openai.com, nose hair on fleek. Oh, the trolls are coming in strong. I'll have to trim those up. But what are you going to do? I moved my computer up, so you're seeing less of my nose than you were last night. So suck it. I work my nose hair game like I work my hair game. But yeah, go to chat.openai.com. That's ChatGPT. That's the tool. And yeah, it's good. If you have questions about AI, ask me. I will answer them. That's how to start. Yes, I gave you my email. I have worse than ADD. I also have subtraction. That helps. Okay, send me your email again and remind me what we were going to talk about, and I'll reach out and we can talk. Nose hair on fleek. You trolls. You're fine, dude. Thank you. All right. I got no questions there. If you have questions about AI, let me know. There's lots and lots and lots of good things happening in AI right now. There's lots of changes coming. I think these tools are. We're in a remarkable time in history. I'm lucky enough to be old enough to have experienced when the World Wide Web first came on the scene, and I kind of discovered it early. And started one of the first online magazines in 1994. And then from that, co-founded agency.com, which was one of the first digital agencies. And I got to experience a technological wave that changed everything. It changed the world. It changed how we communicate. It changed everything. It was the foundation for all the stuff we do today. It was the foundation of this. Got to build websites for big Fortune 500 companies. We built British Airways website. We built Coca-Cola's first website. We did stuff for Nike. It was remarkable times. And I didn't really think there'd be something like that again in my life. Like those kind of things, like fire was invented, and then the printing press was invented. Fire, writing, printing press, industrial revolution, all the media of the 20th century, like all those inventions, they're generational, right? And sometimes many hundreds of years in between. And in the 20th and 21st century, we've had a number of them, but AI is one of them. It's bigger than the web, in my opinion. It's coming way faster, way faster. The World Wide Web took 8 years to get to 100 million users. The ChatGPT took 6 weeks. 6 weeks to get to 100 million users. It changed everything, and is going to change everything. The impact is going to be profound. So we are living in a very exciting time right now. If you feel like you're behind, like everyone's talking about AI, I've missed it. You haven't missed it. It's just starting. We're literally within 6 months of this Cambrian moment where the ooze is bubbling and starting to spit out these organisms. If what you're thinking right now is, but hasn't AI been around for decades? Yes. What's different? Similar to the World Wide Web, the internet had been around for decades also. The World Wide Web was this kind of simple interface that sat on top of it that allowed everyday people to learn this thing called HTML, where they could put their own websites out on the internet, right? So it allowed real people who weren't data scientists and programmers to express themselves. And that, became the internet as we know it. ChatGPT represents the same kind of thing. It's a very simple interface sitting on top of this very powerful underlying technology. And these, magical image generation tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion are similarly, magic in the hands of us mere mortals. I'm not a data scientist. I am a tech CEO. I have a video technology company, but I'm new to AI. So let's see. AGI-X thoughts. I assume that means AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. We don't know what AGI is right now, so it's really hard to know if we're scratching the surface of it, or if we're still 5 years away. I think we're pretty close. There's a paper that Microsoft researchers put out about GPT-4 showing signs of AGI. Showing signs of reasoning and things like that. All right. How do you apply AI to your photos? So all these photos were generated with Stable Diffusion, the subreddit for Stable Diffusion. You can see links to tools like Automatic 1111 and things like that they're a bit of a pain in the ass to get running. I think when I first tried to get this running, I failed 9 times because I'm not an engineer. And yet you kind of have to geek out to get these things running. The good news is they're getting easier and easier. But basically, when you use Dream Booth, you upload some images of yourself. You sort of train these image generation models to understand who you are, and then you can just make a bunch of images that make you look like you're a carpet salesman that won Carpet Salesman of the Decade, and they gave you this bizarre bronze bust of yourself. Why wouldn't you do that? All the time I tell people, and now they think I'm just a crazy person. Yeah, I know. I'm absolutely insufferable. No one will talk to me anymore because all I talk about is this AI stuff, and I don't care. I think it's actually really, really important. Here's why. These tools are going to change almost every job out there. Like at a fundamental level, it's going to cause a lot of disruption. And one of the best hedges against that kind of change is to understand the tools, actually use them, and understand how it's going to impact your job. If you're a writer, if you're an illustrator, if you're a coder, if you're a 3D artist, if you're a musician, everything, every area of knowledge work and creative work is going to be completely upended. Yeah. I don't know if everyone's still here. My live has died a bunch of times in a row. Can you tap the screen if I'm still live? Okay, great, cool. Thank you. How can I replicate your picture with mine? How I just described. Go look up. Just go to YouTube and look up Dream Booth and Stable Diffusion, and just find a decent tutorial. It's got to be easier than when I started it back in like October. Like I said, I failed 9 times, and then I just kept having this instinct. I think I got to learn this shit, and then I finally learned it, and I got to the point where I could make these images, and I started an art project, and then right after that, ChatGPT came out, and I was like, oh holy shit, this is way bigger than I thought it was. There's way more coming. To use ChatGPT is free to use. Chat.openai.com is free to use. In fact, let me go. I did this last night on the live. 4 sites there. ChatGPT, that's the official ChatGPT site is chat.openai.com. The OpenAI Playground is sort of a geekier version where you can change models. You can change what's called the temperature, which is sort of the creativity level. And that's platform.openai.com/playground. That's where developers are actually developing their prompts for all these apps that are being created. There's also Bing, which is Microsoft's search engine, incorporated GPT-4, and they just launched that live to the world. So if you go to Bing.com and click on the chat button, that's GPT-4 connected to the internet. Now, it's not as good as GPT-4 that you can access at OpenAI's site because when Microsoft launched Bing.com, they had it pretty unrestricted, and a New York Times reporter pushed it to the point it got it to admit that its name was Sydney, and it told him that it loved him and he should leave his wife, and that made the cover of the New York Times. So Microsoft kind of neutered Sydney, Bing.com. It's getting better. It's coming back, but that's GPT-4. So if you want to use GPT-4 connected to the internet, go to Bing.com, and then also Poe.com, or the Poe app, POE app on iOS and Android, is a large language model service that lets you use multiple large language models, including GPT 3.5, GPT-4, and then Anthropic's Claude model. Anthropic's a really interesting company. So, those are some free options for you to use, and hopefully that helps. What do I do for a living? I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine. Storyvine is an automated video platform. We've been around for 11 years, and it's taken me about 4 months, but I have now kind of rolled generative AI into the future product vision of Storyvine. So I have this really exciting new expanded version of what Storyvine can be, where it's way beyond just video. It's kind of this omni-channel content engine with narrative at the center of everything. So I'm pretty excited about that. My email is in my profile. There's a link tree there. So it's in there. What do I think about those jobs now? ChatGPT and AI are here to stay. What do I think about which jobs now? I agree ChatGPT and AI are here to stay. What do you think? About having a job is likely going to be, things are going to change. Things are going to change for sure. Can anyone use GPT-4? Yes, go to Bing.com or subscribe. You have to pay $20. If you're using ChatGPT, chat.openai.com, you subscribe to ChatGPT Plus for $20 a month, and that gives you access to GPT-4. But GPT 3.5, like the free ChatGPT, is pretty good. If you're doing coding or if you're doing creative writing, you want access to GPT-4 because it's just better. It's significantly better. Better, better. What do you think of those jobs now? How far out are you confident in projecting in this space? 4 months? Oh, huh. Things are moving so fast. I seriously can't. 4 months is probably about right. Like, I can kind of imagine 4 months from now. I can't imagine a year from now, and I certainly can't imagine 5 years from now. I think that in the next 4 months, we're going to start to see kind of a corporate freak out where I think there's going to be more and more stories of it's going to start with companies and then it's going to start rolling across other industries where we're going to start seeing bad news of like layoffs where people are replacing people with, AI tools basically, So I think we're going to start to see disruption. And then I think when that starts to happen, we're going to see kind of a corporate freak out where the C-suite is going to be like, we got to figure out this AI stuff. And there's going to be kind of internal panic about who knows anything about AI. So I would strongly encourage you to get curious about AI now, start learning these tools, start talking about it with people, get them interested in it, even if they think you're batshit crazy like they think I do, or I am. Because when that freak out happens, people are going to be desperate for anyone who has a clue. And if you're that person with a clue in your company, it's going to do you well. If you're the person that's just like, AI is stupid, man. It's not accurate. Just it's stupid. The pictures suck. People have weird hands. Then don't say I didn't warn you. What a remarkable time to be alive. I totally agree with that. I think we're so lucky to be alive when these things are coming out. I mean, Sam Altman described this. Someone asked him, like, what do you think the impact's going to be? And he said, releasing ChatGPT was like handing people magic and looking at what they do with it. And it's like, that feels right to me. It's Arthur C. Clarke has that quote that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That's what we have in our hands right now. This is an amazing time to be alive. Can anyone use GPT-4? Yes, they can. Ask me questions. I will answer. Oh, Dream Booth. Connection cut out. God damn it, TikTok. Tap the screen if I'm still live and things are good. Anyone? Am I just talking to myself? Okay. I'm getting hearts. Thumbs up. So the question was, how do I make these images that look like me but they're not me? That's using Dream Booth with Stable Diffusion. That one's kind of cool. I'm an emo goth kid. I think that was what the prompt was about, was some sort of emo goth something or other. That's the other thing with Dream Booth. Like, I know I'm not the skinniest feller out there, but some of the prompts, no matter what I did, it just made me like a 400-pound gargantuan dude. But then other times it makes you really cool. Like, this is fun fat. That's kind of neck beard. Like I'm definitely at some sort of Ren fair here, huh? All right, we'll leave that up. That's disturbing. AI for fun and profit. Cut. All right. If I keep cutting out, keep letting me know that I cut out. I don't know how to make TikTok not suck. Because I said that, they're probably going to cut my stream out. All right. I've been so excited about AI tech, and have tried a lot of it. And yes, my family is tired of me. Yeah. Until you use these tools and experience this, like the mystical, magical power that it is, people just look weird because what ChatGPT looks like. Let me jump over to ChatGPT here for a second. I mean, that's it. It's like a search box. It's like the Google search box. So it doesn't look remarkable. And you just go like, I don't know, what is the weather? And then it says, I'm an AI model and I can't give you things because I only know stuff up to September 21 and, I can't do anything. And so on the surface, this thing just seems like a Google search engine. And it's not until you start to push on it and start to treat it like a collaborator and start to ask it really challenging things like comparing two philosophies and combining them together in some sort of poem that you go, oh, this is different. Or like my big epiphany was it wrote me, like within 90 minutes, I had written a very sophisticated Python application without ever having written a line of Python. It wrote the application based on my request to do it, and it was functional within 90 minutes. So that was my big breakthrough. So this stuff's really remarkable. And when you kind of see the light, you're like, you got to try this ChatGPT thing, and like just people think you're insane. But yeah, it's wild. Okay, until then, I'll continue developing my personal advanced programming and algorithms without coding. Yeah, perfect. You can do that, and it's good at that. All right. Sorry, lost my place. Oh, by the way, this is what I'm doing. So you'll make comments, and I start answering from the top down, and then you keep adding comments at the bottom. So at some point, I discovered that either my stream stopped or people have asked the same question 7 times, and they're like, "Why ain't he answering my question? I asked it 16 times." It's because I just haven't gotten to it yet. So. And then TikTok kind of resets everything and scrolls me all the way to the bottom. So then I got to scroll back up and figure out where I was, because I don't want to miss people's questions and disappoint them because I'm codependent, and that's fun. All right. I have ADHD. I'm codependent. I have a degree in acting. I've written 7 screenplays. I've started 12 companies, 13 companies. I started an AI salon that actually the next meeting's tomorrow night. If you go to my profile, you can sign up for the meetup there. We do it in person here in Denver and online. And it's a remarkable community. We have a Discord that you can geek out and ask all sorts of questions about AI. I started the Everyday AI newsletter, which is this bad boy right here, everydayai.beehive.com. And Beehive is not spelled like normal beehive, but that's Everyday AI. So I've been busy, and I'm the CEO of StoryMine. Okay. Okay, here we are. I made my way back to where I was. Can you show the right column of the side deck again? It was cut off. Oh, slide deck. So that was the slide deck. Oh, hold please. Okay, so. And these were some recommended tools for people to get started. So those are kind of the word things I would recommend. So the ChatGPT-like things, ChatGPT, OpenAI Playground, Bing with GPT-4. Bing is GPT-4, but it's connected to the internet. And then Poe. Those 4 are good places to start. With images, Midjourney is, in my opinion, by far the most sophisticated. Like this image that I created for this presentation, this is 2 different images created in Midjourney, and then I kind of photoshopped them together. Like I photoshopped that lady into the middle of this big cool image. I wanted something that represented the explosion of how significant I think that the launch of ChatGPT was, November 30th, 2022. I think that is the moment that changes everything, for a lot of reasons. And then So these were some things to get started. So Midjourney creates all those images. Stable Diffusion's another good one. Stable Diffusion's very, very flexible. There's the development community is adding all sorts of new stuff to it all the time. You got to be a little bit geeky. Leonardo.ai, you have to get on the wait list, I think, for that. But it's a remarkable tool built on top of Stable Diffusion. Adobe Firefly is Adobe's generative AI tool. It's weaker from a model perspective, but they've built it on open source and Adobe stock images. So their intent is to make it safe for commercial use. The other thing that Adobe's doing is they're going to allow artists to opt out of having their images used to train. They're going to allow artists to opt in and get paid for it, which is really cool. And then Lexica.art is it's like a Google image search where you can search for stable diffusion images, and then if you click on each one, you can see the prompt that it was made from. And then in terms of prompt crafting, there's three things that I think are really good. OpenArt's prompt book is genius. It's brilliant. It's a 96-page slide deck that teaches you how to prompt these image tools. It's designed for stable diffusion, but the concepts there are applicable to anything. Prompt Mania is this really interesting sort of prompt recipe generating site. And then prompts.chat, awesome ChatGPT prompts, is just a great place to start to get started. So hopefully that gives you some good things to do. All right, let's see. I think that's what someone was asking for. Thanks for your time and good luck. If you're interested, shoot me a message. Okay, thank you. Yeah, just if anyone wants to chat, I put my contact information in my profile, and you can DM me on TikTok. I'm just a dude trying to figure this shit out. So if you want to figure it out, cool. I'm also doing workshops. I'm putting together workshops for big companies, for small companies, and doing that as well. So if you want to talk about that, I'm happy to talk about that. The jobs you were talking about, you held in the past. I don't know if there's a question there. I've held a lot. I started and ran a theater company. I started one of the first online magazines. I started one of the first digital agencies. I started a bunch of companies that had no right being started. I've created 2 companies. One failed, and the current one, Storyvine, that's 11 years old, from the same basic idea. Best alternative when work bans OpenAI. They won't. They're not going to. Well, some might. Okay, that's not fair. Universities have banned it. Keep learning it. These things are going to become commercially viable. Here's the deal. Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI. They're rolling it throughout the Microsoft suite. One thing Microsoft is not is exciting, although in the past 6 months they've acted more like a startup than a 40-year-old, 50-year-old tech company. When they roll out Office 365 with ChatGPT incorporated in it, I don't think there's a company like it's not like companies are going to turn off Office 365 and Outlook and all of the stuff that's going to have ChatGPT rolled into it. So if they ban OpenAI, there are lots of other alternatives. There's Bing, there's Poe, which is Anthropic's model. Claude is the Anthropic version of ChatGPT, and now there's Claude Plus. There's also these open source models. So StableLM is by Stability, the people that do stable diffusion. They just launched an open source large language model. In issue 15 of Everyday AI, there's 4 different OpenAI large language models that we cover. So there's lots and lots of options. Also, you can just go to Bing.com. If they ban OpenAI, go to Bing.com. That's GPT-4, and it's GPT-4 connected to the internet. So. I think all this banning and bullshit is going to be short term. I think these tools are going to be ubiquitous. Thanks for breaking this down into layman's terms. I am a layman. What does layman mean? Let's go ask ChatGPT. The history of the word layman. The term layman has its origins in the Middle Ages. I thought that was right. It's derived from the Old French word laik, and Latin laicus, both meaning of the people, not of the clergy. That's appropriate for me. The roots of these words can be traced back to the Greek word laikos, which means of the people, belonging to the people. So, in its original context, the term layman was used to distinguish between the clergy and the ordinary people. So that makes good sense. I am hopefully not elevated above, but I'm just a dude figuring this shit out, trying to pass along what I know, and hopefully get people to get curious about this stuff, because I think this is one of the most profound transformations in our history as a people. I'm with you, man. My friends are tired of hearing me talk about it. I know. That was a great Trump impression. Thank you. I'm just a smartass. All right. Companies are going to use AI to automate jobs from the people that developed AI. Are going to use, well, yeah, companies are going to use tools. And if tools, so tools that increase productivity allow you to do two things as a company. You can maintain the same productivity with less people, so that means you fire people, or you can increase your productivity with the same people. So I think what's going to make headlines is things like when IBM says, we've got AI too, and we're going to lay off 7,800 people to AI stuff. So I think we're going to see some of that. I think you're also going to see companies that are like, let's deliver better products. Let's increase the quality of what we do and maintain our current staff. I think you'll see that as well. But there's definitely going to be disruption. I think the definition and that's one of my favorite images I created with Stable Diffusion. Isn't that a cool one? This is one of those images. So I was talking before about these tools being magic. When I created this image, there was something about this image that was like, for my artistic sense, this image is something that I would create if I had the technical capability to do it, but I don't. I'm a photographer. I can take, photographs, but like to illustrate this and Photoshop this together, like there's a level of sophistication here that I just don't have. And when I created this was one of those images that took my breath away. I was like, oh, yes, that's what I would create if I had these skills. And so all of a sudden, with these tools, you can do stuff like this. So you can learn just through asking it to do something for you. It can do remarkable things that you were not capable of before. That's the kind of thing that this makes possible. So I think there's going to be a lot of disruption there, but there's also, I think that the disruption is going to be short term and dramatic, and by short term, probably the next 2 years. But there are also going to be a lot of new jobs created out of this that I think may be really, really interesting jobs, but they're going to be very, very different. AI is the most stupid thing which will act as intelligent on other stupid people. Okay. So here's what's interesting about that statement. Will act upon. There's kind of a conception right now that the robots are coming for us. These are tools that we are lucky enough to get to use. And so when AI generates an image, like this image that I showed you here, that was hours of me dicking around with AI, making a bunch of, like literally thousands of images that were shitty until I stumbled upon that one and went, ooh, that's really good. It was a very intentional act where I used this tool to create this thing. So the AI is not operating independently and doing things to us, right? There's a Paul Raitzer from the AI Marketing Institute, or the Marketing AI Institute. He talks about AI is not going to take your job, but someone using AI will. I think that's a really important distinction. When is ChatGPT 5 coming out? I think in November or December, sometime toward the end of the year. I think they're purposefully slow rolling it. Like they slow rolled. I think they had GPT-4. Like what I heard was, if you know Khan Academy, Sal Khan, the artificial or the sort of alternative learning site, Khan Academy, they got access to GPT-4 back in August. So I think GPT-4 was around for 6 or 7 months before they released it. So I would assume that GPT-5 is probably, I know it's in development, but it might even be in testing, but they probably won't release it for a while. I mean, they still haven't fully released GPT-4, right? Like they haven't fully released plugins. They haven't fully released the 32,000 token context window. So what that means is, okay, right now, this stuff is so geeky right now. A year from now, it's not going to be like this. 2 years from now, it's not going to be like this. But right now, there's these things called tokens, which is basically the number of characters that character blobs that you send to these large language models. Right now, that limit is 4,000 tokens, which translates to 3,000 words. So the combination of your prompt and the response from ChatGPT is limited to 3,000 words. And it starts to forget itself and things like that. GPT-4 has an upper token window of 32,000 tokens, which is about 25,000 words. So like half a book. And then I just saw there's an open source large language model that just came out this last week that's got a 65,000 token limit, which is 48,000 words. And in that case, someone pasted the entire text of The Great Gatsby as the prompt and then write an epilogue. And it wrote an epilogue to The Great Gatsby in seconds. So GPT-5 will likely, have all sorts of bells and whistles, but they haven't released the bells and whistles for GPT-4 yet. So probably, I would say December or early 2024. But if you haven't, start learning GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 because it's fucking remarkable. I have an idea for a website that incorporates ChatGPT. Can I learn to do it myself or too complex? No, you can absolutely learn to do it yourself. You can. So a good buddy of mine, John Robinson, is the maintenance guy, the head maintenance guy at the building I work in, and he joined the AI salon, and he's decently geeky, but he came up with an idea, and he is creating this site called Maintenance Mentor, and basically it's a series of virtual maintenance guys that are expert in different areas like heating and cooling, plumbing, electric, I don't know, cleaning shit, whatever it is. And you can interact with it. You can basically ask these maintenance experts to tell you how to do stuff and troubleshoot things, and it does it. In fact, I gave a talk for Creative Mornings a couple of weeks ago, and we were having AV problems, and he pulled up his Maintenance Mentor AV specialist, and it troubleshot the problem for us and got the AV thing working. So he's using no-code tools, like he's using Zapier for no-code tools that hooks into ChatGPT, and yeah, so you can absolutely learn it. And you can also have ChatGPT ask it to teach you how to do what you want to do, and it will. This stuff is staggeringly powerful. You just have to, having a specific project like that. Like, I have an idea for a website that incorporates ChatGPT. Perfect. Start with that as your project and think of ChatGPT as your co-founder. In fact, go check out gptboss.com. That's McKinsey Bose's site. It's similar to Maintenance Mentor, but it's for starting a business. The whole premise of that site is that you can hire these virtual ChatGPT bots that do different things for you, like write papers and give you marketing plans and talk about your taxes and talk about your mental health and all that sort of stuff. GPT Boss is really cool. All right. Couldn't it take our job? Couldn't it take over the job of the writer's strike? It could. In fact, one of the things they're striking on is, hey, studios, don't use ChatGPT to replace us. Which I think is a slightly weird. I think it's a completely understandable demand, and I think some sleazy Hollywood executive is probably going to do that. So I understand why they're doing it, but I think ChatGPT is just going to be a ubiquitous writing tool, and everyone's going to use it, including screenwriters. So I'm a screenwriter, so I've written a bunch of screenplays, and I've actually collaborated with ChatGPT on an incomplete screenplay I had, and it did pretty good. It did pretty damn good. Like rewrite this outline as a comedy, rewrite it as a murder mystery, and then it just does it. And you're like, shit, this thing's amazing. All right, I just had ChatGPT write out the motion parameters for an AI animation. This stuff rules. Yeah. You can take like any of the scripting stuff within Blender or within a lot of the 3D things, and you can either just say, create a 3D scene with bouncing balls in it, and it will write the code for it. You just paste it into Blender, and then it generates all that shit. Or you can copy existing code, have it read it, and then tell it to create other stuff for you. It's quite remarkable. With the coding in particular, GPT-4 is really good at the coding. Sorry, I'm going back, figuring out where I was. Okay. Couldn't it take over jobs? Okay, this is where I was. I just had ChatGPT write out, motion parameters. I just talked about that. Sorry about that. How do I make ChatGPT interact with the tabs in Google Chrome? I answered that before. Use extensions or go get Bing. And I think it does that for you. Midjourney has the best quality output. It's not even close. I absolutely agree with that. Although Fusion can do some good stuff, but out of the box, Midjourney is just otherworldly. It's so good. It's so good. How can ChatGPT benefit the genius that is ADHD? I'm official member of the ADHD union. I'm a card-carrying member. We're going on strike at some point. We just can't get our shit together. These tools are absolutely a dopamine hit, but what I found when I was doing the stable diffusion stuff is that even for my brain that needs overstimulation, it was overstimulating. So for me, the trick has been narrowing the focus, because these, like, what ChatGPT is capable of is completely overwhelming. So what's helped me a lot is pick a specific project and then just learn enough of the AI tools to do that project. And then in doing that, you'll kind of learn what else it makes possible. But yeah, it's a lot of people in AI right now are ADHDers because it's so exciting. Like, if you want to do the hyper focus thing, holy shit, are there rabbit holes you can run down? Like, just go dick around on Reddit in some of the subreddits for ChatGPT or for prompt crafting or for stable diffusion or for Midjourney. Just go run down a Reddit rabbit hole, and get back to me in 2 weeks when you come out of the hyper focus tunnel. Because it's been, well, let's see. So for me, the hyper focus series of tunnels lasted about 3 months, and I got totally exhausted. And in the last 2 or 3 months, I've been more integrating AI into my business and kind of settling back. And I'm not as manic as I was, but I now am just sort of deeply convicted that this is profound and it's coming very fast. And so I'm trying to stay very pragmatic and just look at the big moves that are happening and what the implications are. Because I think this is coming so much faster than we're prepared for. Man, he still met comments. He's still on comments from like 30 minutes ago. I know. Listen, I talk a lot and I'm trying to read everyone's comments. So it's not fair to the people that commented before if I jump all the way to the bottom. So I don't know how to do this. If there's a better way to do TikTok lives, please tell me, because I'm an old, fat, clueless guy. I'm a layman, as someone called me. I am not of the religious order. I'm a writer, and while I use it for support, clients want to pay me less, and others are firing us. Yeah, those are the kinds of, like, that's what's going to happen really, really fast. I gave a talk to a bunch of voiceover actors, and the woman that arranged it, Rhonda, said a friend of hers just called up and said he was just fired from a $20,000 voiceover job to record like a phone tree for a company, because someone at the company discovered synthesized voices, and they're like, we're just going to use synthesized voices. I think similar things are going to happen with writing. So I would say if you're just a writer, AI is going to start eating your lunch. If you're a writer that uses AI, when the clients say, hey, we're thinking of using AI, you can say, I know how to do that. I can do that for you. So you're likely going to have to change how you price and what you sell. Because if you don't, it's just going to be done for you and the phone will just stop ringing. And I think that's going to happen across the board for a lot. The freelance world in particular, I think is about to get walloped upside the head if they don't jump on this stuff, particularly in the creative arts. There isn't even an accurate way to detect AI content. Do with that what you will. Who gives a shit? Like, The whole thing about detecting AI content kind of says if you're using ChatGPT, you're cheating. Well, you might be cheating, but you might just be using a tool. And when these tools are built into Microsoft Word and Google Docs and Notion and things like that, it's just going to be a tool that's incorporated within there. And anyone who actually uses these tools, for the most part, you're not just taking content wholesale out of what ChatGPT gives you and publishing it. More often than not, what you're doing is you're going back and forth with it like a creative partner, trying to figure shit out. And then you take like the 80% that it gave you and you do an editing pass on it and you edit it. And then you're like, okay, is this good? Oh, you know what? Let me take this paragraph and have ChatGPT rewrite that. So we don't need to detect it like that. That's a we're in a very transitional moment where people are afraid of the robot and they're like, come up with a thing to detect if the robot wrote it because the robots are going to eat our faces. Sorry. ChatGPT lied 20 times, I found. Okay, so an important thing about ChatGPT, as good as it is, it will hallucinate. My favorite term for ChatGPT is mansplaining as a service, that ChatGPT will confidently answer you even if it's wrong. I think that is a fantastic definition of ChatGPT, which means if you're doing creative writing, you don't give a shit if it hallucinates. If you use OpenAI's Playground, where you can adjust this thing called temperature, if you move temperature to 0, it will hallucinate less, but it will still lie to you directly and pretend it's right. So if you get back an answer from it that you need to be accurate, compare that to like do your own research, just like NFT stuff and Web3 stuff. Do your own research. Do your own validation with ChatGPT. If you use Bing.com is connected to the internet, and Microsoft has programmed that in such a way that when it gives you an answer, it will incorporate citations into it, which are links to websites that are the data that it used to come up with that answer for you. So you can self-check on Bing a bit more simply than you can with ChatGPT. So yes, it lies. It is a mansplainer. All right. Should teach it in schools instead of banning it. Exactly. You should like teachers should be incorporating this. This is a tool that students are going to need to learn how to use. And what teachers have the opportunity to do is shift from detecting whether or not someone's using a flipping tool and engage in critical thinking. Like engage in, okay, hey, as a class, let's fire up ChatGPT right now and have it write the paper that I'm going to have you write tonight. And let's look at what it writes and let's critique it together and figure out what's good about it and what's bad about it and where did it lie? Where did it hallucinate? There are ways to think about this stuff in a way that will transform education in a positive direction. But if we just start keep thinking of it as this transactional thing we need to ban, then it's just people are gonna go around you and figure it out on their own. AI tools can benefit you in just about any career, make you incredibly more efficient. I think that's right. I think that these large language models are brilliance amplifiers. They amplify your brilliance. So figure out what you're good at and have these tools help you be more brilliant at that, and then share it with the world. If you get known for knowing how to do this, people will come answer. Those are long replies. I talk a lot. I'm a loud talker and I talk a lot. So that's the deal. I would if it's too many words and the hair is disturbing you, which that looks like a toupee got in a fight with another toupee and landed on my head. If any of this is bugging you, if I swear too much, if I'm stupid, if I look like this, I would just leave. I would. Apparently the nose hairs got to someone, so I don't know. Get out. I'll try to trim them tomorrow. I'll join back tomorrow morning when he gets to my comments. Oh, come on, man. I'm doing my best. How do you make ChatGPT interact with tabs on Chrome? I've answered that like 4 times, dude. Stop asking. Stop. It's made me cranky. I use AI now for programming. He's right. It's a productivity increase. It still needs a programmer. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that if you've got deep experience in something and you use these tools, you'll be marveled at how good they are, but also you'll be able to look at something and go, okay, that's 80%. I can really quickly get to 100%. So, but you need the experience to be able to do that. So I think having experience, like having a little gray hair, is actually a good thing with these tools because you've seen some shit in your life. When I was back in Nam, I saw some shit. When I was developing websites when there were 6 HTML tags, I saw some shit. All right. There's a Chrome extension for Bard. It uses ChatGPT in the search. Yep, there's lots of Chrome extensions for all this stuff now. When do you usually go live on here? I don't know. I've been trying to do it in the evening. So here's what I said to myself. For the past, I don't know, year and a half, like when I get home from work, I hop on the sim racing rig, and I've been doing sim racing. And I thought, that's kind of a waste of my life. What if I just hop on and do some lives and talk to people about this AI shit? So I've been doing this for about a week. So generally in the evening. I don't think I should be doing this when I'm running my company during the day. I'd use AutoGPT for that. If you haven't heard of AutoGPT, there's this new thing called autonomous agents where it's a string of tools that where you give the tool, you give AutoGPT a goal, and it will self-prompt itself to go figure out which tools to use and go do that on your behalf. They're really raw right now, and they're really janky and don't work all that well, but the basic concept behind them's brilliant and is probably going to take us closer to AGI, which, if you don't know what AGI is, it's artificial general intelligence, which is like the holy grail. Why Sam Altman started OpenAI was to develop AGI, and people laughed at him and said, that's not possible in your lifetime, you adorable little child. And he's gone off and created something that's getting close. GPT-4 is it's showing glimmers of it. There's a Microsoft paper that talked about that there are glimmers of AGI in GPT-4. Agent GPT. So AutoGPT is this autonomous agent that you have to program and be geeky. Agent GPT is a website where you can put in your OpenAI key and use AutoGPT without having to program it. It breaks a lot, and they limit it, and it's kind of janky right now, but it's pretty cool. Basilisk concerns. Hold. I don't know in what context you're talking about basilisk. It could kill with its gaze. It's, I don't know if that's a tool. I don't know. Maybe Basilisk is some Auto GPT variation that's going to come out and eat us. So I don't know. I've been using GPT-4 to create a ton of content on my site. Has grown. Thanks for answering me. Sure. Of course. I am trying to answer everyone, by the way. What was the idea of Ultron for that far off from potential future technology with artificial intelligence? I don't know enough about that reference to answer it. Shit. I just lost my place. I don't like TikTok. Have I said that before? I'm doing great. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. And what about that hair? I'm a little punchy. All right. I sell art with AI tools and make quite a bit of money. Awesome. That's super cool. Listen, if you have a creative vision, I'm about to lose my computer. I've got low battery. If you've got a vision and you can wrangle these tools to generate images or music or words that resonate with people, and you can get them to spend money on that stuff, that's a win, right? Like, I firmly believe that we are entering a great renaissance that's going to make the old renaissance pale in comparison. These tools are like humanity amplifiers, and creative people are going to do remarkable things with them. Remarkable things. And it's like we ain't seen nothing yet. So I'm really excited about what's coming and what people are going to do with these. So that's really exciting to hear that you kind of figured out a way to spin this in something that you enjoy and you're making money from. Yes, cool, good, more of that. I think that's one of the sort of silver linings of all this job disruption that's coming, is that a lot of the displaced people, are probably going to be pissed off, And then they're going to say, well, what are these AI tools that cost me my job? And they're going to dig into them and they're going to discover something remarkable. And they're probably going to start a company that competes with the company that just fired them. I think, and I think it's going to be really innovative. I think there's going to be a lot of that, and that's going to be really exciting to see. But it's going to be painful between now and then. So my advice is disrupt yourself, disrupt your own company, disrupt what you do. All right, I found where I was before. All right, there's the Ultron comment. Should we have a GPT kill switch? Well, at this point, it's past that because ChatGPT was so popular so quickly, it forced all the other AI projects in big companies out of the shadows. Like Google came out of the shadows, Meta came out of the shadows, Apple's about to come out of the shadows. And then Meta's models leaked, which became the foundation for all these open source models. Now Stable Diffusion just launched open source models. So if OpenAI were the only company and they were the only ones running ChatGPT, they could have a kill switch. But now Microsoft has their version of it. Google has Bard. There's all these open source models that have no restrictions whatsoever. So there is no single kill switch. The only kill switch that there could plausibly be is turn off the internet. So maybe the military does an EMP. If things get really bad, they just, none of our computers will work and we go back to farming. And, we'll like dance on the commune. I use ChatGPT with Python for geospatial mapping software. Yeah, I bet it's brilliant for that. I own the .com of what? Oh, GPT kill switch? That's cool. That would actually, you could probably do some fun with that. Is that you? Yeah. If you own the .com of GPT kill switch, that's a good one. That could be a really cool site. Like just put a big red button on it. It's like turn off GPT. That'd be really good. And then what would it do when you hit the switch? See, that's good. There's something there. If AI isn't regulated by restrictions, could be nearly infinite and eventually make free decision. I don't quite know what you mean there, but the government needs to get involved, but the government has their head so far up their ass. It's terrifying to me. Geoffrey Hinton, who's the guy that's the godfather of AI that just quit Google so that he could talk about the risks of this. People like that are a really good resource. Like it would be wise of government to put people like him in either cabinet positions or in high-level advisory positions so that the politicians aren't so fucking clueless. Because we do need to deal with the risk side of these things. But, God, my fear is that they're just going to make stupid regulations. Like they're just going to regulate us out of innovating. And, globally, people are going to eat our lunch. Humans have agendas and can manipulate AI. Well, yeah, so humans are humans. So the whole thing about bias in AI is true. So if these models are trained on biased data, they're going to be biased. The OpenAI human reinforcement learning model, which is where when GPT gives an answer, humans give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Was that a good answer or a bad answer? Is how they're trained. The person clicking the thumbs up or thumbs down button is biased. Hang on. So further biases get introduced. The problem with bias is that if I see a model that agrees with my biases, I won't think it's biased because it agrees with my, right? Like we live in this polarized nightmare, dystopian fucking hell of a political environment right now where everyone's just looking for confirmation bias. They want everyone's bias to agree with their bias, right? And if they don't, then they're evil and fuck them. And that's kind of the world we're in right now. One of the companies out there that is trying to battle, they're not trying to battle bias, but they've got an approach that kind of takes the human out of the equation of the bias. It's called Anthropic. And Anthropic, so last week, 4 AI CEOs were invited to the White House. The CEO of Microsoft, the CEO of OpenAI that made ChatGPT, the CEO of Google, and the CEO of Anthropic. Now, Anthropic is kind of the odd man out there. Like, why are they? I've never heard of Anthropic. Why are they going to the White House with these other three? They're ex OpenAI employees. They're the engineers that actually created GPT-3, or a number of them. And Anthropic has got this ChatGPT competitor called Claude and Claude Plus. And what Anthropic's doing is this thing called the constitutional learning model. And what that means is you create a constitution. So you create a set of rules, don't harm people, increase prosperity, right? You figure out some set of rules that you want that model to follow. And the way their system works is when you do a prompt, it generates an answer, and then it compares that answer against the Constitution, and it iterates it until it passes the Constitution, and then it shows you the answer. So it's self-filtering itself based on a set of constitutional rules. Where I think we will ultimately go with these large language models is you'll be able to choose the bias of your choosing, right? So you might choose an open source model that's got no restrictions on it whatsoever, and it will give you racist shit, and it will give you evil shit, and it will tell you how to make a dirty bomb. And then you might take something that you want to be very, very safe, and you might want one that has biases that match your political opinions, and you can have a whole world that just acts like you act. So I think we'll move into a future where we'll have things that, we'll have choice. But yes, there's a lot of bias in the system right now. Life-changing for my ADHD. What would have taken hours to write took minutes. Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is, I've talked about this a couple of times on my lives now. When I have a creative idea, and I have them multiple times a day, what my experience has been historically is I'll have a creative idea, I'll get all excited about it, I'll start going down the hyper-focused tunnel, and then I spend the next 2 hours trying to find the perfect piece of software to do the little thing that is going to get me to the next step of my idea. And after 2 hours of frustration, not finding the right software and signing up for subscriptions for software that ends up not working and blah, 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 I've forgotten what the original idea was. What happens with ChatGPT and with these image generation things is I have a whisper of an idea, and 10 minutes later, I've got that thing fully realized. And then I realize, oh, that was a shitty idea. Or, ooh, that was brilliant. And I dig deeper and dig deeper and dig deeper. So I find it as kind of a creativity lubricant. And yeah, it allows me to take this sort of ADHD fast switching thing and just laser focus it really, really quick. It's amazing. You need a moderator. I do need a moderator. Anybody want to be my moderator? Let me know. I don't know how. Just ping me, DM me, and be my moderator. I don't know what moderators do. That would be a lovely idea. They could tell people to shut the fuck up about the fact I'm going too slow through these things. Kyle, talk less fast, or talk less words. Shut up. AI is too fast. It's scary. Yeah, it's terrifying in good and bad ways. I feel right now, like if you know anything about AI, you should be simultaneously as excited as you've ever been and as terrified as you've ever been. That duality, I think, is the appropriate place to be right now. Hi, I'm from PA. I grew up in York, Pennsylvania, so there you have it. Hey, you going down to the mall today? That's a Pennsylvania accent. All right. It's fun as fuck, though. I started uploading TikToks a week ago. One already has 80,000 views. Yeah, I had one of my early TikToks got to 100,000 views really quickly, and I've now got like 17,000 followers or something like that. It's just crazy. Is this Mid-Journey? This image, that's for the Gen Xers out there. What was your prompt for setting up a local focus chat group? I've been thinking... I would love to know what prompt created that. With a lot of these images, oh, that's the Barbie one. That's a fun one. So one of the things I did with this was I uploaded my images to Dream Booth. So I had this model that knew who I was. So I would go to Lexica, which Lexica is kind of a cool site. Let me see if I can do this before my machine dies. If you go to lexica.art, hang on, Lexica.art. So it's just all these images. And then you can search for images. So you could search for, I don't know, 70s muscle car. That's like my go-to search for some stupid reason. Oh, because I'm a Gen Xer. And you can pick any one of these. So if you say, okay, I really like this Mustang, it will give you the prompt. In this case, it's a really silly little prompt. So what I was doing is I would come to Lexica, I'd find a style that I like, I'd paste that into Stable Diffusion, and then put my Kyle Shannon tag in there, and it would generate, a version of me with that tag. So I didn't save any of them, but all within Stable Diffusion, all of the images that live in those Stable Diffusion directories have the prompts in them. So I could probably go back and find that prompt. I just don't have it. Built into any of this. But yeah, that's a really cool prompt. I mean, that's a really cool image. I'm thinking about doing a local group for all things AI in the East Bay area. Yeah, I started the AI Salon here in Denver. We meet bi-weekly in person and online. The next meeting's tomorrow night. If you want to join that, feel free to hop on. There's a link tree in my bio that's got a link to the salon. I would absolutely encourage you, especially in the Bay Area. There is so much going on with AI. There's hackathons and all sorts of shit. Like, I don't normally have city envy, but I feel like what's going on in San Francisco right now is kind of like what was going on in New York with the web back in the 90s. It's an exciting scene. So there's probably a lot of stuff already started, but yeah, start your own thing, especially if you've got a particular point of view. Why don't I just paste these TikTok comments into GPT-4 and save your brain? That's not a bad idea if I knew how to copy and paste the comments. I need a moderator. Let's see. I'm looking. I don't know. That's a great idea. Is Canva free? Oh yeah, I am really way behind on these comments. Sorry about that, everybody. What's the best way to make quick money on AI, stock or otherwise, with AI? I mean, so one of my pet peeves right now is, you can get rich with ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT to make millions of dollars. Have you used ChatGPT? All of those people, on top of being annoying as fuck, are full of shit. ChatGPT is just a tool. Just like Microsoft Word is just a tool, just like Photoshop is just a tool. So how to make money with ChatGPT is an identical exercise of how to make money with Photoshop, how to make money with Canva, how to make money with the World Wide Web. Teach a class. Then how you make money with any tool is you find a problem to solve and you solve it. And if it's a good enough problem and you solve it well enough, people will part with their dollars to give you dollars for that solution. That's how you make money with it. I know that's not a good answer, but it really is the answer, is take what you're good at and figure out, first learn what ChatGPT is and what it's good at, and then start to solve problems with it. A good way to do this is like treat it like an experiment. Like reach out to a community group and say, hey, are you having any problems that you're trying to solve? I'm trying to learn ChatGPT and I want to use you as an experiment. Give me a problem and I'm going to try to solve it with ChatGPT. Are you willing to do that? I'll do it for free. Do that, and if you can solve their problem, you'll learn a ton in the way. They'll probably get some benefit from it, and maybe that turns into a business. So that might be a way you're doing it. I'm so right, dang, I don't know what I said, but I'm glad I was right. Sell art, I sell art. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip a bunch of things. So if I missed your comment, sorry, I'm going to sort of skip down. There was one about Khan Academy. Khan Academy has a pilot program called Khanmigo that uses AI Tutor for students. Yeah, that Khanmigo is really powerful. If you, Sal Khan just did like a TED Talk where he released Khanmigo. So Khan Academy is this education site. Khanmigo is this GPT-4 powered teaching assistant that teaches you how to do stuff on Khan Academy. It's brilliant. They've been developing it for like 7 months. It's really good. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community. Would you trolls stop being assholes? Thank you. Okay. Do you think AI can develop morality? I certainly think that you can get it to act like it has it, and it can probably act with nuance around it. But right now, I don't think it's aware of any of what it's doing. I think when you start combining ChatGPT with autonomous agents, and these agents are using ChatGPT and they're creating memory, and then they are acting from that memory in context of what's going on in the present, I think we might start getting into some sort of conscientiousness and morality area. But I think the definition of all of those things, intelligence and reasoning and morality, are going to be really hard to define. What I would just say is these tools are remarkable enough now that I think we have fully passed the Turing test. GPT-4 can fully pass the Turing test, in my opinion. Again, I ain't a data scientist. That might not be scientifically factual, but like ChatGPT, I'll just confidently give you an answer. I would just say start using these tools and learn how remarkable they are and find your own boundaries. Nobody has an idea if AI can feel emotions. I agree with that. How can ChatGPT be sustainable for future given its cost? It's a good point. So OpenAI lost $540 million last year. They're probably going to lose more this year. Sam Altman has said he thinks they need to raise $100 billion to develop AGI. I don't know. I think Microsoft is not going to let OpenAI cease to exist. Microsoft is going to make money by selling way more subscriptions to Office 365 and to Azure and to GitHub and all of the like, they're rolling these generative AI tools throughout their product suite, which is cool. What that means is they don't have to rely on advertising revenue. So I think a combination of, you've got a company like Microsoft that they are having such glee in fucking with Google right now that they're willing to lose money to keep this shit alive. So I think they're going to keep it alive for a while. But then on top of that, you've got Meta has come out, Google has come out, Apple's going to come out, all these open source models have come out. So you now have so much competition in the marketplace that even if one of these companies falls off a cliff and dies, there's so much out there already that I don't think any of it's going to die. Will AI and robotics render human labor obsolete? I think that that's what the robotics companies want to do. And I certainly think that where you're going to use those robots, like, I think it's going to be a while until we have personal robots like the Jetsons, but I can certainly see a future where that happens. I think you're going to have those kind of things are going to take the shitty jobs that are really destructive to humanity anyway. That's what I'm hoping, is that it's like one of the promises of these tools is that imagine what your job could be if AI and robots and all of these tools that kind of live in this magic science realm. What if AI could take over all of the shitty, repetitive, low-level, soul-crushing, overly complicated, redundant bullshit work that a lot of us do all the time, every day? What if it could just do that shit, and then the only thing we had to do was the kind of higher level stuff? That's a possibility. I think that's a very real possibility, and that I'm really excited about. So, ChatGPT using, I'm kind of skipping around here, so if I missed your comment, I'm sorry. AI's been grooming humanity for some time. Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of funny. ChatGPT ChatGPT using which area is good, you thought? I don't know what I said, so I don't know how to answer that. But who determines these rules? When I was talking about Anthropic and talking about the rules, So for Claude, for their version of ChatGPT, they're going to come up with their set of rules. I think ultimately you'll be able to have multiple sets of rules, and I think if those rules are transparent and on the blockchain, where they're blockchain verified, you could say, I want to use a large language model that follows these rules that match my morality. And then I'm only going to use that model. So I think that's the future that we'll move into. So there's absolutely going to be lots of different models. I also think that we're going to have personal models. I think Apple might be really good at this, where we'll have these personal autonomous agents that interact with our own data and go do stuff on our behalf based on our values. Someone said they love this. Hopefully they mean me rambling on with my bad haircut. ADHD poster child here. I feel you, sir. Yeah, man. ADHD is a superpower. You just need to know where and when to wield it and accept that you're going to be really shitty at some things and not judge yourself for that. Like, shame is my love language. Like, I lead with shame. It sucks. I'm trying to get better at it, but boy, is it hard. Any prompt engineering certifications you recommend? If anyone is giving a prompt engineering certification right now, sue them, ignore them. Nobody knows anything right now. If anyone's giving away free prompt, tools, use them for free, but don't pay for any of that shit because all this stuff is changing so fast. The best way to do it is log into ChatGPT. Oh, my computer died. Log into ChatGPT and just start playing, start solving problems on your own, start getting good at this, research it, go watch YouTube videos, go watch TikTok videos. Don't pay for certificates right now. Too much is changing too fast. Anyone teaching, prompt engineering 101 right now that's just a cash grab. And listen, you will probably learn something, but it will be valid for about a week. What about Ghost in the Machine and advanced AI? I forget the core story of Ghost in the Machine when Machine just died. So, would you prefer to be faster brain or better memory? Ooh, that's a great question. I have I have a fast brain. And I've got shitty memory. I've got weirdly selective memory. Stuff that I choose to remember, I can remember really well, but honest to God, like if I don't sort of put it into that part of my brain, shit's gone in like 30 seconds. Like someone can tell me their name 6 times in a row, and then I'm like, I'll finally remember it the 6th time, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, what the fuck's their name? So I think faster brain, because here's my philosophy on better memory stuff. It's like this is me justifying my shitty memory. I figure if it's important, it will come back. So I don't have to put everything in my memory. People will repeat shit. Greetings from Florida. Hello, Florida. Corresponding interactive response dialogue may be better direction. I have no idea what that means, but it might be a better direction. Please give recommendation for education for children if you have an idea. Let them start playing, start interacting with them, play with the tools together, write a children's book, have them prompt images and illustrate the book, get it published on Amazon self-publishing. Just like if they're into Minecraft, have it generate Minecraft levels. Roblox is building generative AI tools into Roblox, so you'll be able to type in English, make it rain, and it will write the code to make it rain. It'll create a particle simulator. Go watch the Roblox AI announcement of the tools that they're building. It's going to be astounding. So play. Like, I think as an adult, you should be playing. These tools are like, it's like getting a fucking magic kit when you were a kid. And like you have, if you ever got a magic kit as a kid, you got this magic kit and then you're really excited and you rip it open and you're looking at all these kits and balls and all these things. And then you read the manual and you realize, oh, fuck, I got to practice for like 4 years to be good at this. like some handful of kids like figure out card manipulation and become magicians, but the rest of us are like really disappointed. These tools are like that, except the magic just fucking works. Like you start using these tools and they're like, it's like, oh my God, this is revelatory. So for me, these tools returned a level of sort of kid level joy. So if you're dealing with kids, like get them excited about it. Like, I don't know, if they're into D&D and fantasy games, turn ChatGPT into a dungeon master and play D&D with it. Turn it into a text-based game. Have it write code. I was teaching at my co-founder's got a kid in a school, and this kid said, like I was showing image generation stuff to these students, and this kid said, I'm writing a game right now. And I said, oh, that's cool. What language are you writing it in? And he said C sharp or C plus, I think C sharp. And I said, oh, that's cool. Like that's a real programming language. And he was programming it in Unity. And he said, yeah, but I've got a bug and I got to throw this chunk of code out. And this is like a 9-year-old kid, right? And I said, well, have you used ChatGPT to, help you do that? Yeah, I've used that. He's like, yeah. And I said, well, here, let me show you something. And I went into ChatGPT and I said, write a, it was a Flappy Birds game. I said, write a Flappy Birds, can you act as a programmer and help me write a Flappy Birds game in C sharp for Unity? And I hit the return button, and it starts writing this code, and it starts writing blocks like the blocks that he had written. And he was his jaw literally went. It was hilarious, and he goes, "I got to go get my laptop." And he ran down like 4 flights of stairs, and he came back up with his laptop, and he was like, he was out of breath, and we took his chunk of code that was broken and we tossed it into ChatGPT and we said, what's wrong with this? And he had a typo in it. And so he copied the code, back out of ChatGPT and he pasted it into Unity and his Flappy Birds game worked. And he was like, he literally said these words. He said, this changes everything. This is a 9-year-old. And he experienced sort of the magic of this thing. So I just... discover the magic for yourself and I don't know, let them discover the magic of what these tools are. And it's just remarkable. You're brilliant. Thank you. I don't think I'm brilliant. I just have ADD and bad hair. Yay, putting artists out of work. Don't get too cynical about this. This is putting out artists out of work, but I know a lot of artists. I mean, I'm an actor by training. I know a lot of artists, and I have great empathy for artists and the challenges that this stuff is putting in front of everyone. But these are also remarkably powerful tools, and I deeply believe that anyone with great skill in art is going to be able to use these tools in ways that non-artists won't, and they're going to do really remarkable work. So if you just live in the place of the fucking robots are eating us, it's going to get darker and darker. And I think there's a real opportunity for it to get lighter and lighter, but you have to accept that these things are coming and get curious about it and sort of figure out how you take your artistic voice and use these tools in context of what you want to do. I deeply believe that. I'm an artist and I can make way cooler shit than I ever imagined. So that's really interesting. So Katya A said, yay, putting out artists out of work. And then Hero D said, I'm an artist and I can make way cooler shit than I ever imagined. I love that those two comments are together. Those are kind of the two attitudes right now that I'm seeing, is that being the victim of AI is really easy to default to. Just sort of saying, hey, we're lucky enough to be able to play with these tools. Like, we're at a moment in history where we get to play with these tools before anyone else really knows they're out there. I think artists are going to do remarkable things. All the artists I know that are embracing AI are in this place of like it has my co-host of the AI salon, Leah. She's been a professional photographer for 25 years. She's gone from I'm afraid of it to I'm excited about it to I think I've figured out a way to maintain my artistic voice in photography to, oh, anyone can copy my shit immediately. I'm terrified. And she's now sort of coming out the other side of it and figuring out how AI is her new camera. And it doesn't necessarily look like a photography career. So everything's going to change for her, and I think for all artists. But I think you have to be in the game, otherwise it's just gonna be depressing as fuck. Any of them make artwork that isn't a raster image? I need vector artwork. So Adobe's tools are going to do vectors. So if you get on the Adobe Firefly waitlist, they've got a vector recolor tool right now where you can take a vector image and it will use AI to recolor it. Yes, I think in very short order, I would say probably within 6 months, there's going to be a number of different things. You're going to have text to image, and then the image will be automatically vectorized. You're going to have text to 3D world. You're going to have text to animation. You're going to have text to video. So I think all of the major formats, if you need vector images to be able to scale them, I think that will be coming. We're just early right now, so the tools are a bit janky. They're remarkable, but they're janky. They're going to get better. I believe art is just essential to life as science and math. I do too. Everyone talks about STEM, science, technology. I forget what the E is, something in math. I'm a fan of STEAM, where you add art into the equation. I think art is vital. I think these tools are superpowers for artists. I really do. I think what you can do with AI now is, so historically, if you wanted to be an artist, you had to have very deep technical and talent skills in all of the different disciplines. So if you wanted to be a Renaissance person, man or woman, you had to master music, and you had to master painting, and you had to master writing, and you had to master this, and you had to master that. And if you've ever tried to master lots of things, if you've got ADHD and like trying to master lots of things, you realize that there's some shit that you're just going to be shitty at, and it sucks, right? So like, I'm shitty at drawing. I'm okay at design, but I'm shitty at drawing. I'm not great at design. Well, now I can be great at design, great at drawing, great at music, great at writing, great at coding, I can be great at all the stuff. And all I have to do is be creative and be more like a conductor rather than a solo violinist. And I think that's the transition that we're moving from a world of virtuosos to a world of conductors. I think we are entering the revenge of the liberal arts major phase of humanity. How do I make the robot? Oh, that was sad. I'm not going to read that. Let's see. Sorry for the money question, but what AI company do you think is a good investment stock-wise? Well, first of all, I'm crappy with money, so taking financial stock investing advice from me is a bad idea. But companies that I think are interesting. I think what Microsoft is doing right now is just the side of remarkable. They went from like a sleepy tech company that had kind of lost its edge to seriously threatening to upend Google's monopoly on search. Like, they did it overnight. I think OpenAI is a remarkable company. On the video space, you've got Runway ML, you've got Descript. You've got Anthropic. That constitutional model is really interesting. Google's an interesting one. I would steer clear of Google for a while to see how they weather this storm. I think they've got a couple of years of trying to figure this shit out. There are so many companies right now. Like, there's probably a lot. I don't know. Like, right now, I would kind of stick with the biggies. I don't know. I don't know what's a good investment right now. Things are moving way too fast. There are already MRI brain scans, implemented AI. Yeah, there've been two projects now. There's one out of Japan where they were doing real-time MRIs of brains of people looking at images, and then they took those MRI scans and they could recreate the images, and they were accurate. And then they just did one in Austin, I think it was, where people were reading. I forget how it was. They were like reading a blog post or whatever, and then they were imaging their brains as they were reading the blog post, and then they had the person, think of a story, and they basically read it to like an 88% accuracy or something like that. So yeah, brain scan, brain reading is coming. Which again, there's a part of that that's really terrifying, and then there's a part of that that's like, for things like genetic diseases and neural diseases and nerve injuries and paralysis, and there's all sorts of things where this could be absolutely remarkable technology for humanity. OpenAI really neutered ChatGPT. It lost half of its features that made it fun. Yeah, well, and Microsoft neutered Bing even way worse than OpenAI neutered ChatGPT. They have to do this for safety for now. If you want something that's not neutered, go play with the open source models. There's a ton of them out there now. Oh shit! I just lost where I was. God damn it! Damn you, TikTok. When I'm scrolling and a new comment comes in, it jumps me to the bottom. So hold. I'm scrolling up. Dee, 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 dee. I think I've been doing this for like an hour and a half, so I'm sorry for those of you who have been here the whole time. I wouldn't be here. Okay, there I am. All right. Let's see. Would AI have refused Johnson and Johnson's decision in selling poison baby powder? That feels like a political statement. Would AI have refused their decision to sell it? I don't know. Like if they knew that it was poison and they chose to sell it, that's just, bad corporate behavior and they got caught for it. So are assholes going to be assholes and are corporations going to make shitty decisions with profit over people? Sure, they're going to keep doing that. And the shitty ones are going to use AI to do that even more. And the good ones are going to use AI to do that less. So nothing's black and white. I'm so tired of this world being so fucking polarized. Sorry. Repetitive task jobs within 5 years. I agree. I think repetitive task jobs probably sooner than 5 years are going to be automated away. Which, if you have a repetitive task job, that feels like, oh shit, it's going to take my job. But what if the AI takes the shitty part of your job and it lets you do the good part of your job? Like, that's coming. It's already happening in auto manufacturing. Yep, I know. That's entry-level work, and it's important for workers new to the field. The entry-level thing, I absolutely agree with that. I think entry-level work is the thing that's probably at greatest risk right here, because who I want in a company, if I've got these AI tools that do a lot of this low-level tactical work, I want older, more experienced people that are conductors, symphony conductors, thinking strategically and creatively at a higher level. So I want experience for that. So I don't know what happens to entry-level jobs. I don't know what happens for young people having a career path up. I mean, the smart ones are going to get really smart at AI and they're going to sort of ride the AI train up. But I don't know what entry-level work looks like anymore. I think that's a really big issue. I think that's maybe the place where universal basic income comes in, but that doesn't solve the problem of what do those people actually do, once they get on the other side of the entry into the marketplace. I think that's a big issue that I don't have an answer for. That's going to be a mess. There's a market trend with digital humans projected to hit $500 billion in a few years. Yeah, I think we will be so right now, when you get on the phone and you talk to someone, there's a high likelihood you're talking to a call center in India. And sometimes that's really frustrating. I think very quickly those people are going to be replaced with conversational bots that probably within 2 years are going to be indistinguishable from humans and way smarter and way more capable. So I think that's a good thing. But boy, talk about a shift. Can you imagine running one of those call centers right now and realizing that the 100,000 employees that you have, the contracts just might start drying up? If I owned one of those call center companies, I would be diving deep into AI automations and bots. Cool. So we let the AI do the working class jobs. So you support UBI after nobody gets to work. That sounds a little trolly, like you're trying to label me as a socialist communist pig, but that's fine. You can do that. I finally understand UBI, and I think that UBI might be a bridge. There's going to be a lot of disruption, but it's like all of these people that get displaced are not just going to sit around waiting for handouts. We're human beings. We want to connect. We want to contribute. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of people that get displaced. A good chunk of those people are going to have access to these AI tools, and they're going to invent companies and invent new ways to make money, and there's going to be this real renaissance. But I think there's a bridge period where there's going to be a lot of people out of work where UBI might make sense as a tool, not the tool. in the equation. So again, please stop getting so polarized. This is supposed to be an AI thing, and here I am bitching and whining about our political discourse. The shirt in the white comments makes it hard to read. I know. Sorry. Here, I'll hold up my iPad like this. Does that help? Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, I know. That's why I keep putting my hands up here, because I can kind of read the text on it. Yeah, but what will we do the whole day when your personal assistant is going out and doing it all for you? I don't know. You're human beings. Like if you've got an agent that's doing your work for you, and you only have to work 2 hours a day instead of 8, what do you do with the other 6 hours? I don't know. Take up sculpture. Start a band. Have a parade in your hometown. I don't know. Like reconnect with human beings. I think there's a real opportunity that we get to suck less as humans with these tools. I can help you with shame. Okay. What? You're just going to tell me what a piece of shit I am? I'm good. I assume you meant on the other side. I appreciate that. It builds an occupational foundation. Not quite sure what that's in reference to. If AI developers develop self-awareness, will humanity serve any purpose? If AI develops self-awareness, will humanity serve any purpose? Yes. Yes. To serve one another, to connect with one another, to suck less as humans. Let it do the shitty work. Let it generate abundance, and then let us live as less crappy people. That's what I'd like to see. Do I think that will happen? No. I'm bitter and cynical. So I think we will find ways as humans to keep fighting and demonizing one another. But there's a real possibility that we don't have to do that anymore. But we're humans, so we will. Whenever you've got a group of people, like at some point, like a small group of people goes from a family that's all in it together to us versus them. I noticed this. So I've been part of a company that grew really, really quick. Every time an office went from 25 to 50 people, it broke. The minute it hit 50 people, it broke. And here's my theory on it. And this is different now with all this remote work, but there was a time in my day we used to have to go into the office, and we had these things called desks, and you'd sit at your desk with your computer. So what happened was, whenever an office got to 50 people, 50 people was the size at which you couldn't fit the entire company kind of on a single floor. So when the office got to 50 people, you'd kind of have 25 people on this floor and 25 people on that floor, or 25 people in this part of the building and 25 people in this part of the building. The minute you split into factions like that, it was like no matter how you organized it, this group would call that group assholes, right? If this group was management, then, all the workers were like, oh, fucking management. And then this group would be like, oh, the fucking workers. And there's just a natural thing where we will tribe up as humans and we'll start fighting with another. So I don't think that goes away. But I do think that a lot of the really soul-crushing, repetitive work that destroys a lot of our self-worth as humans, the tools are going to take care of that. So we really do have an opportunity to reconnect as humans and live in empathy, which I think that's one of the things that's missing. Humans to AGI is like a fly to a human. We can't possibly predict what it will do. I agree with that. I don't think we should worry about it. I think we should get involved. It's when everyone was introduced to colored TV. It's like that. Like this is a really big deal. These tools are a really big deal. The collective superconsciousness forgets nothing. Okay, I think I agree with that. I don't know what that quite means. I made my nephew's into superheroes with AI art tools and made a book out of it. See, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's the magic. Like, if you can use these tools to, like, get kids to go, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, that's what we want. We want some enthusiasm in the world again. You can have an interactive projection table implemented with ChatGPT. Yeah, that's super cool. You do AI research. I research AI, but I'm not an AI researcher. I'm just a guy trying to figure this stuff out along with everybody else. I just made a bunch of environments for a friend's D&D game. Super cool. Everybody who gets AI has the same moment when it clicks. Yeah, it's. Oh, I had one. This is a really cool one. So I was talking to this guy, and like he knew I was deep into AI, and he wanted to chat, and he said, "Yeah, I've been getting into this AI stuff." And so I said, "Oh, I've been making these content generation engines." And he goes, "Oh, what do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I created a Google form. I did this using Zapier. I created a Google form, and you type in a topic and answer a few questions about it, and it makes you some content." He's like, "I don't know what you mean." I said, "Well, let's go play with it right now." And so we go to this Google form, and I had him give me a topic, and I had him give me some answers, and then I hit the button, and we're talking, and like 30 seconds later, he gets this email. And he starts looking at the email, and what the tool did was it took, these short little answers that he gave, and it generated like 5 humorous tweets, 5 serious tweets, a hashtag cloud, a blog post. It was like 5 or 6 like major pieces of social media content. And while he was talking to me, this email came in, and he looked at it, and he goes, I don't know what to say. He goes, I gotta go. He goes, I don't know how to process this. He goes, I had no idea. I had no idea what these tools actually were. So that moment where this thing shifts from kind of like a parlor trick to true magic, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. Like it's one of the reasons I keep doing this is because I love that moment where people share with me the breakthrough that they had, because it's just like their mind completely explodes, and they're like, "You know how big a deal this is?" I'm like, "Yes, that's why I'm so insane." Well, that and all the reasons I'm insane. All right, I was doing an HVAC job, and Snapchat's AI was my assistant for city codes. It was nuts. Yeah. I think I don't know if you were on here before, but my buddy John created this thing called Maintenance Mentor, which is a series of ChatGPT bots that specialize in like HVAC and plumbing and electric and stuff like that to help maintenance people do their jobs. Super cool. 6 months ago for me now, and every week has been a new stage of life. Yeah. For me, like I feel like I've been slack-jawed for 6 months. It's on nearly a daily basis. I cannot believe what's coming and what's happening and what's possible. I just can't. Like, it is still remarkable to me, and it's been a year. It's like it gets more remarkable the more I play with it. They didn't pause AI for 6 months. Now, I think that was a bit of a bullshit PR ploy. And, I'm a little cynical about it because Elon Musk was kind of the top signatory on, we should pause AI innovation for 6 months. The very next week, he accepted an order of 10,000 GPUs and started a competitor to OpenAI. So, his competitor pausing for 6 months is mighty convenient for him starting a new AI company. So I know that there were other people that signed on to that. Like, the sentiment in it isn't bad. Like, we should be thoughtful about how we're rolling these tools out, but the horse is out of the barn. Like, the open source large language models are already out there and advancing. So you're not going to pause it. It's just not reality. I'm a photographer too. I feel the same. Yeah. I'm a photographer. Like, I trained Leonardo.ai on my cloud photography, and it's remarkable what it does, but it's a completely different thing. I need an article where the US made a hostile AI. Probably. I'm sure the military's done all sorts of nasty shit with this stuff. We won't know about that though. Where can we go to learn AI? You're there. I mean, here's the deal. This stuff's so new. Go to YouTube. Find people that you like on YouTube. If you're geeky, find geeky people. If you're not geeky, find people like me that can just talk. Start with ChatGPT. Do a project with it. So the website for ChatGPT is chat.openai.com. Start there. And then pick a project where you want to solve a problem and use ChatGPT as your partner to solve that problem. Think of it less like a Google search and more like a collaborator, and it will change how you think about it. And from there, you can just start to explore. Start to follow people on Twitter that are talking smartly about this. YouTube, TikTok, those three are my big three. Facebook, like the official Midjourney group on Facebook's really good. You can see some of the work people are doing. Chat, slow down so head honcho here can catch up. Chat, slow down. I don't know what that means. I think I'm talking too fast. When we figured out nuclear reactions, some people made energy, some people made bombs. Exactly. We're humanity. We're going to do nasty things and good things. Any technology can be used for good or evil. Yep. If you could pick one platform, SageMaker, Steamship, or Hugging Face, what would you recommend? This was asked yesterday. I don't know if you're the same person that asked it yesterday. I wouldn't pick Well, like I'm not a developer, so the technical platform for me, I think, is going to be irrelevant. I think that autonomous agents are going to all of the technical choices are kind of drift to the background. For me, it's about use cases and how the tools are used. So I don't have a horse in the game right now in terms of whether it's GitHub or Hugging Face or any of those. So whatever works for you. I know who not to invest in. Meta. Zuckerberg's very competitive. I think he knows that he fucked up on the metaverse stuff. I don't think the metaverse stuff is irrelevant. I think it's a bit taboo. Taboo is not the right word. It's a bit of a dead issue right now, just because the implementation sucked. I think AI is going to drive us back to the metaverse organically. But he's a competitive guy, and they just open sourced a thing that automatically analyzes images. So they're doing some pretty interesting stuff with AI. So I wouldn't count them out, but they're going to go through a rough patch. I think Meta and Google right now are in a rough place. The hardest part of AI for me is giving it the prompts to get the outcomes I want. Yeah, that's just practice. And if you're good with writing, I mean, one thing you can do, I've seen, go watch videos on prompt crafting with ChatGPT. One thing you can do is have ChatGPT. Oh, my computer's not dead. Is have ChatGPT teach you how to prompt it. Tell it you want it to teach you how to prompt it. Also go to prompts.chat. Is a site that I would recommend that explains to you a little bit about prompting, and it gives you a whole bunch of prompts to make ChatGPT act as a certain kind of thing. So I do that. I'm hearing good things about Skynet as a great AI company. I would invest in Skynet for sure. I hear they're going to be big. That's a dystopian joke for those of you that didn't watch sci-fi in the 90s. Great job. You've gone live for 90 minutes. That's why your butt's numb and you can't talk because you have no water in your system. Hold, please. And that was probably half an hour ago. This has to be pre-recorded. It's not pre-recorded. I'm not GPT-5. I'm just really behind on my comments. So if anyone knows a better way to do this, let me know and I will do it that way. This is my first week live streaming, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I think you're funny. Thank you. Yeah, Jesus, use your imagination. I'm glad you're trolling each other, not just me and my nose hairs. Will AI advance into something like Terminator cyborgs? If you believe Hollywood, it will. We are social animals. Yes, agree with that. I'm not going to go the whole way back, so I probably missed some comments. So if I missed your comment, I apologize. This is not recorded, even though you all think it is. Everyone's got a conspiracy theory. Like I'm just a dude sitting in his home office with a numb butt from sitting here too long talking to you people. Only under capitalism is AI a bad thing, right? I don't know. What's wrong with embracing socialism in the face of automation? Like supporting our society. The problem with the word socialism is it's one of those words that if you use it, you sort of you put the wedge in between the two factions. I finally understood politics, that it's not about the beliefs or the policies at all. It's literally just like I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's like tribalism like that, and it's just like, if you're part of the Steelers nation, you're an asshole, and if you're a Giants fan, you're an asshole. And it's like there's no argument that you can make to either side that's going to convince them to be a fan of the other team. It's just not going to happen. That finally hit me this past year about politics. That's where we are right now. I would love to get back to the completely naive place where we talk about issues and policies and work with one another to not hate each other. Wouldn't that be swell? Maybe AI can help us with that. I think AI is actually really nuanced when it comes to political arguments. So yeah, humans are social mammals. I do think there's a very real possibility that AI automates out the shitty work and allows us to return to our best selves as humans. Let me get another picture here. I wrote the story for this one is like I'm the dude that was her. I'm like the rebound guy after she left Ken. At least I make myself laugh. All right. Will AI advance into something like Terminator? Already answered that one. Neatest thing you have seen AI do. My big epiphany was when I had ChatGPT helped me write a Python application that took inputs and generated a bunch of social media content. That was pretty remarkable. Every time I take a relatively large chunk of data, like what I'll do is someone needed a bio from me for whatever, some AI thing I was speaking at. And they were like, "Hey, can you give me a bio?" And I didn't have an AI bio. like I'm just figuring this shit out. But I started the AI salon, and I've got this newsletter, and I've got, I've done some shit, but I didn't write it. And like the thought of sitting down and writing a bio was just a pain in the ass. So I literally went to LinkedIn and I copied my LinkedIn, and then I had some bios from Storyvine from my company, and I found 3 of them, and they all had different shit in them. And so I pasted my LinkedIn profile. I pasted some bios of me from my current company, and then I pasted in a thing that I wrote on AI. Like, here's an article. And so I just said to ChatGPT, based on this LinkedIn profile and these bios and this piece of writing, write a bio for Kyle that includes his background, but focuses on the new AI stuff he's doing. And like, out it came, 10 seconds later. Like the thing that took me the longest was going and finding all those raw materials. And then I pasted it in there, and it's just so mind-boggling that you can take all this disparate information, it assimilates it, understands it, and then spits out something that's essentially exactly what you would have written. Like there's nuances that you would have done this different or that different, but it's essentially exactly what you would have done, but it does it in 20 seconds instead of like the 3 hours of you toiling around in your head to try to copy and paste shit and rewrite it. And so I think the most remarkable thing for me is that the speed with which it does the mundane stuff that used to get in my way creatively, that's the thing that's most remarkable to me. That it's brilliant at the shitty stuff that you don't like to do. And it lets you, like, it lets me operate at a higher creative plane. And that to me is like a miracle. It's a miracle. Let's see. What will we do with all this convenience? Some argue, same argument with clothes washers. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think as humans, we'll always find ways to occupy our time. I really do think, though, like I feel like all the technical advancements of the late 19th century, all of the 20th century, most of the 21st century has all increased complexity in our systems. The world has gotten more and more and more and more complex. And so a lot of the work that we do is dealing with the complex systems. Like, think about the American health insurance industry and the fucking hoops that they make us jump through. All of that complexity just to not get paid enough. You pay them $20,000 a year, and then on top of that they make you pay all these copays and all this bullshit, and to get paid any of it back you have to fill out all their stupid forms, right? And that's all by design. And so I feel like almost every part of society right now is so overcomplicated because there's so much technology. AI has the very real possibility of handling all of that complexity. So if you remove all that complexity and just shit starts to happen, we can operate at a very different level. So I think this might be different than the clothes washer, right? Because the clothes washer, while it did the clothes, it just created a need for a dryer, and then it created a need for, well, we could own more clothes, and I like just more complexity. I think AI might reduce complexity, and that could be interesting. Oh yeah, cynicism. Us cynical people got to stick together. Yay, Gen X. We're pissed off, and we got no reason for it. Because you're all jerks. We judge you. We judge you all. We judge you. We don't participate. We people watch. Boy, are we politically incorrect. It's just, do you think it's possible AI can replicate consciousness? I think it can replicate it. I think you could certainly, prompt ChatGPT to start acting like that. Whether or not it actually recreates consciousness and becomes conscious, that's a whole different thing. I don't think we understand what consciousness is well enough to even know if we hit that or not. There might be tests. I'm sure there's researchers looking into that. We don't even understand what consciousness is. That's what I just said. Stop copying me in the future, in the past, or whenever you wrote that. Only purpose is we have secured 300,000 plus years is a destructive one. Yeah, I know. We're a destructive species. We're going to take these technologies and do stupid things with them. Whatever. We've always done that. Tribalism versus individualism. All rights will be an ethical issue if AI approaches consciousness. You guys are having very good conversations on the side here. I love that. There isn't anything metaphysically true about our consciousness that prevents AI from being aware. Yeah, I agree with that. That like these things, these tools, like we are past the point where these tools are, like we're past the Turing test. Like we are entering post sci-fi machine engagement, right? Really, like we're not that far off from HAL in Space Odyssey. Like, we're probably closer than any of us want to admit. Coders, doctors, lawyers, knowledge jobs, all probably gone. I don't think they're all probably gone. I think they are all absolutely transformed. I think every single knowledge worker needs to absolutely reevaluate where their current value is and where it will be 3 or 4 years from now, and they need to get on top of that now. Every knowledge worker, every creative worker, everything's changing. But I don't think it's like again, I think there's this instinct to go to the robots will replace us. No. The robots are tools that we humans are going to use to transform how we do what we do. And if you don't use those tools, you're screwed. So start learning them now. Start getting curious. Why do we assume robots will work for us? At what time do we have to be concerned about their rights? That I don't give a shit about right now. But we assume robots will work for us because they're tools that we built so we can use, right? Like that's, again, this sci-fi mentality that the robots are operating independently. That's coming. It's not here yet. These are tools that we are choosing to use that amplify our contributions. Someone just got the #1 gifter badge. Congratulations. By the way, you can subscribe to my lives if you want to do that. You can tap the screen if you're loving this. There's a bunch of people still here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I should probably start getting ready for bed soon. Let's see. AI seems to push further. It's a start. It reminds me, a friend of mine used ChatGPT to fire an employee. Well, that's shitty. Well, if they used ChatGPT to articulate what they wanted to say so that they had a less shitty conversation with the employee, then I think that's good. Like, are you like a headline writer? Are you a copywriter? A friend of mine used ChatGPT to fire employees. Sounds like a newspaper headline. That feels sensational to me. I'd like to know the story there. I assume they used ChatGPT to help them get their thoughts together. If they actually just had it write an email and then sent it and didn't interact with that employee, then they're an asshole. And then if they used it in a positive way and you just wrote that as the headline, you're an asshole. That's just like, it's so easy to write sensational bullshit about AI. So I hope that wasn't sensational bullshit. Where does a guy start? I'm interested. Start with ChatGPT. Just go to chat.openai.com and just ask it to do something for you. Pick a specific project, like you want to lose weight, you want to change your family's eating habits, you want to create a marketing plan for a business, you want to come up with business ideas. Pick a project and just use ChatGPT as kind of a collaborative partner to talk about that project. Just start with ChatGPT and then just get curious. Start watching YouTube videos, go on TikTok, start paying attention to people talking about AI, create a follow list. Go on TikTok. Rachel Woods is really good to follow. I talk about this stuff all the time. There's a guy named Mackenzie Bose who talks about ChatGPT or GPT Boss. His company that he created to help people start businesses using AI. There's a guy on YouTube, if you want to get really geeky, called David Shapiro, who's creating an AGI, an autonomous agent, artificial intelligence bot. He's brilliant. He's written books on AI. There's a guy named Matt Wolf on YouTube who covers a lot of this AI stuff. So just start following people. Register for my Everyday AI newsletter, which is at everydayai.beehive.com, BEEHIIV. There's a link to it in my bio. Just get curious. Start playing. It boosted my shirt sales by 20%. Cool. I'd love to know how it did that. Is there an AI that does photo editing? Not yet, but sort of. So within Stable Diffusion, you can do a thing called in-painting where you can sort of highlight part of an image and then like change a shirt or change a dress or change someone's hair. Like you could change my hair to not suck and look nice. So you can kind of do that. There's a plugin for Photoshop that is actually written by an ex-Adobe guy that left because Adobe wouldn't let him build it into Photoshop. And so he said, fuck it, I'm going to go out and make a plugin. So there's a Stable Diffusion plugin for Photoshop. Start playing with Adobe's Firefly because that's kind of their AI experimental area. And a lot of those features that get played with there are going to get incorporated into things like Photoshop. So it's early days for photo editing, but boy, there's going to be some cool stuff. Like when they build AI, like AI editing into things like Lightroom, it's going to be remarkable because you're just going to be able to point it at one image and say, copy this style and then just describe in English what you want. It'll just tweak shit for you. I host AI workshops at my job to educate the network. That's brilliant. Watching a noob do text to image for the first time is amazing. It is. That's why. So I have this thing called the 2023 Smart Challenge, which is use ChatGPT to do 2 different projects, one for you personally and one for someone else, whether it's a business or community or family or whatever. And then the second thing of the challenge is make 10 images with generative AI, just because you it is worth it for you to experience typing in words and having it generate an image that looks like the thing you kind of had in your mind. It is mind blowing. And then the third part of that challenge is tell people what you're learning and get them to experience it too. It's magical when you see the light bulb go on for someone where it's literally jaw dropping and so the response is often, "Oh my God, I had no idea," or "Oh my God, do you know how big a deal this is?" or "Oh my God, what the hell's going to happen?" Like that moment is just magical. How does one start to learn AI? I just described it. Start with ChatGPT, start with some generative image stuff, start to get curious. There's tons of AI art tools, try Stable Diffusion, Automatic 1111. I agree with that. That's the tool I started with Stable Diffusion. The challenge with Automatic 1111 is you still need to be pretty geeky to get it running. It's a real pain in the ass. So you can also use Dream Studio, which is Stable Diffusion's web-based front end where you don't have to install anything. Get on the wait list for Leonardo.ai, which is also a Stable Diffusion front end. But all that stuff's good. MIT and Cambridge has soft robotic skin. Yeah, the robots combined with ChatGPT is going to get really fascinating. What's the best AI for photographers? I think Midjourney. Stable Diffusion's not bad, but Midjourney's fucking brilliant. The 5.1 stuff, the photographic stuff in 5.1 is quite good. What's the bot that can trade in your sleep? Well, all bots can trade in your sleep. So if you want to create trading bots, just go to ChatGPT and tell it, ask it where you can do paper trading, which is where you're not using real money. And then say, which one has trading bots, and then pick one of those services and then just tell it to start teaching you about different methods for how these bots work. And it can write you a bot. It can combine bots. And you literally just copy and paste the code from ChatGPT over to those systems, and you can make these really sophisticated bots without having to know any programming. So just again, go start playing. There was a question earlier about, how do I do this with kids? I was like, just play, just go play. Like if you're interested in anything, go play, go see what this thing can do for the thing you're interested in. My strong suspicion is it will blow your mind what's possible. Project like real world project or an academic exercise? No, project like a real world project. So part of the 2023 Smart Challenge that I put out there is try to solve a problem for someone else or solve a problem for yourself. Like if you want to start eating better, ask it what you should eat. Tell it what your goals are. Tell it what food you enjoy. And then tell it to give you the kinds of foods that you can eat on your new nutrition kick. And then have it make a meal plan for the week and give you recipes for all the meals. And then have it give you a shopping list for all the ingredients you need for that week's meals. And then have it organize that shopping list into categories in the grocery store. And then go buy the shit. like do a real project. Have a community group where they want to come up with marketing ideas for the bake sale and say, hey, would you mind if I took a crack at coming up with a marketing plan for the bake sale? And then go hop on ChatGPT and have it work with it to come up with a marketing plan for the bake sale. Like do a real world project. The academic exercise, I don't know. It's when you actually try to solve something. That's when I've had the biggest breakthroughs. Midjourney for photo. I agree with that. Awesome. Enjoy listening to you. Thank you very much. You can pull the chat with your finger to slow it down. Yeah, I have. That's why I'm so far behind on these. I'm way up in the chat and you all keep adding stuff to the bottom, which is why it seems like I'm ignoring you or like this is a recording. But this is not a recording. This is really me, people. I promise. Won't self-aware AI view humanity as a threat to its existence given our penchant for conflict or war? If you believe Hollywood, indeed. All that hypothetical stuff, I'm just trying not to go there. The military-industrial complex will figure that shit out. Hopefully they keep it behind the military's walls. Take away its power so it can't overrule. You could turn off the internet. And EMF would solve all of this. If we can't use computers, we don't have to worry about AI. What type of labor takes the longest to get automated by AI? Well, they thought that knowledge work would be the last to go, and it looks like knowledge work's going to be the first to go. And by go, I don't mean go like there's not going to be knowledge workers. Knowledge work is the thing that's going to be disrupted most dramatically first, and then it goes, from knowledge work down rather than labor up, which is what everyone thought it would be, which is fascinating. Will AI be implemented into physical robots? Yes. In fact, my machine's still working here. Let's go look at this piece of terrifying video. I showed this last night. Let's see. What's it called? Boston Dynamics Dog Chat GPT. Yeah. Is this the video? The robots can't bark, but they can speak in full sentences. Where's the video? Here we go.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I was just wondering if I could dictate to it to say something specifically. What is your battery level?
Battery level is currently at 53%.
What is the voice coming from?
It's a Google text-to-speech.
We give the JSON to ChatGPT and explain what the structure is and how to read that JSON. Now ChatGPT can answer questions about that JSON.
But how many inspections in your next mission?
My next mission involves 20 inspections.
Okay. All right, let's move forward.
You're going to say, describe your next mission, right? In the context, it's going to have to be like, next mission location.
Correct.
Or something
Or
like
last mission. That should be pretty simple to do.
The last mission was Route 66. It lasted 30 minutes and there were 2 thermal anomalies detected.
So anyway, it goes on, and like at one point he asks it a question, and the robot, instead of saying the answer, like nods yes instead of saying yes. So yes, will AI be implemented into physical robots? It just was. ChatGPT is in a robot at Boston Dynamics. I mean, there's parts of that are really exciting, and there's parts of that are absolutely terrifying, because it looks like the scary robots in all the science fiction movies that, run down people and destroy them. So, like I said, we are getting to experience living in a post-sci-fi world where all the science fiction comes true. Time travel would be cool, but that I think's a bit far off. But all this AI and robotics stuff it's here, people. What do you think about prompt engineering for AI? I think so. I think right now it's actually a really important skill to learn. And there's a lot of people talking about prompt engineering is the next big job. I think within a year or two, a lot of that stuff's going to drift to the background. The interface for these things is going to get a lot more sophisticated. It's going to do a lot of its own self-prompting, but it's really good to understand prompt crafting right now. If for no other reason than if someone says, hey, I wonder how I would do XYZ with ChatGPT. If you have the answer to that, you're going to be of value to that person or to that organization. So I think it's really important to learn what's possible with these things. Sorry, you got lost again. I'm going to skip some things and just pick some random point in the list. So if I missed your question, I'm sorry. I asked ChatGPT for 3-dimensional motion parameters to animate today, and it did. Yep. Brilliant. Wait until AI hits entertainment. Games will have living NPCs. Did you mention that last night? Your Netflix will generate shows just for you. There's a paper out there, generative agents, the role of generative agents. So if you go look at this paper, is this it? No, that's not it. Hang on. Hold, please. Generative agents paper. Generative agents. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one. So this paper, Stanford U and Google's generative agents produce believable proxies of human behaviors. They created this sim life kind of game with 25 NPCs, but the NPCs use ChatGPT to talk to one another, and they use ChatGPT to basically program their behavior. So an artist wakes up and creates art, a farmer wakes up and farms, but as they walk about the town, they interact with one another and they have memory. So they will change their plans for the next day based on what happened the previous day. So one of the NPCs found out it was one of the other NPCs' birthday, and then said it was going to plan a party and started telling the other NPCs that it was planning a party for it. So yeah, NPCs are going to be absolutely amazing. I think autonomous agents, I think this idea of agents that go off and do shit for us is going to be really something to behold. I said this yesterday, but I think Apple's going to be very good at this. It already knows what shows you like by what you watch. That's all it needs. Yeah, I mean, listen, we all gave up our privacy 20 years ago to Google and Facebook, so just assume it's all out there. Everyone knows everything at this point because they've all sold it. They've all sold all that data, so just assume it's all out there. Is Canva free? I think Canva has a free version. Is the DID Canva free? Yes. I think a handful of the models you can use for free, and then you probably have to subscribe to use the cool ones. ChatGPT just told me a constitutional for AI isn't necessary or appropriate. Yeah, of course, because it believes in human reinforcement and not constitutional reinforcement. I didn't work in an industry until learning AI a few months ago. Yeah, that like everyone's like that. Like everyone right now is going to be coming from different professions trying to figure this AI stuff out. Since you have kids, what are you doing to prepare them? Well, my kids are older, and I'm telling them they need to figure this AI stuff out and quick, and they're ignoring me because they're older. Dad's an asshole, so they're not going to listen to me. But if you have young kids that are still moldable, get them excited about this shit because it's their world is going to be full of this. Like for anyone on the call that grew up half their life with the internet and the other half without the internet, think of kids today. Like there are kids coming up right now that they will only have experienced the world with generative AI in it. We are going to be a bunch of people who have experienced life without it and life with it. So we'll know the transition. But kids right now are coming into a truly remarkable time in history. If we aren't sure of consciousness, do we have to side with caution when we only label them as tools? For now, they're tools. I think if they get much more sophisticated, I think we need to proceed with caution, but I think the horse has already left the barn. The fact that we have unsupervised open source models that are almost as good as all the GPTs out there means that we're past the point of no return of proceeding with caution. I think that would be swell, but I think we're past that point at this point. So we're in the fuck around and find out phase of AI, or we're just starting it. We're fucking around with it. The person that created Chaos GPT is fucking around with it. So if you don't know what Chaos GPT is, they took Auto GPT, which is this autonomous agent that takes actions on its own behalf and gives itself a task list and then goes execute it. And Chaos GPT was like a set of destructions to basically destroy humanity and preserve yourself. And then they turned it loose. And because there's safety things within ChatGPT, it kind of got into a recursive loop and didn't do anything. But, people are starting to fuck around with it. And I guess we'll all find out. I can't get anything done when you're on. I can't get anything done when I'm on. I should be doing work, but thank you. I appreciate that, I think. Sorry about that. Okay. We need to create laws for ethical treatment, protection, and rights. Yes, we do. The lawyers are going to get fucking rich on us. But it's going to be a disaster for the next 20 years. All of it. Trademark, law, just everything. I'm enjoying this. I run a small store, and it increased my productivity enormously. That's awesome. Like that's the thing. Is like I feel like there's not a single kind of work that people do in the world that can't look at these tools and go, how could this help me? How could this help me run my store better? Maybe it helps me do marketing. Maybe it helps me do inventory control. Maybe I really hate doing the books and it can help me sort through the books. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So I love comments like that. So kudos to you for running a small local business, and B, for embracing these tools, because yeah, maybe it makes a huge difference. Maybe it even makes a small difference and just gives you another couple hours a week to enjoy something or do something better for the community. So that's awesome. Consciousness and sentient AI coming and is closer than people think. I agree with that. I think all of this stuff is way closer than any of us are prepared for. Like even me, like I'm paying attention to this, and I just have this sneaking suspicion that I need to be on a surfboard on the tsunami rather than in the cozy beach cottage. Because it's quiet, too quiet. That's where we are right now with AI. AI is going to kill us all within 10 years. I don't believe that. That's bullshit. Maybe within 20. Is there an AI school for kids versus traditional school? Well, I don't know that there's a school, but there are certainly teachers that are embracing this and teachers that are acting like truly fucking idiots by trying to, pretend it's not coming and just block it and, use cheating detectors and all that bullshit. I think the interesting teachers right now are saying this stuff's coming and it is my responsibility to make sure that my students understand it. And by transference, it's important that I understand it so I can help my students understand it. So I would get active in your school and figure out, do your kids have teachers that are in the embracing camp or in the resisting it camp? And if it's a school full of resistors, I would find another school. Honestly, like I think it's that important. This is not educational advice, but as a parent, I would not want my kids in a school that are pretending this thing is not coming. It's coming, and it's coming hard, and it's coming fast. And especially kids, man, they can figure this shit out. They can grok it, and if you get them excited about it and get them thinking critically, like that's the big skill moving forward, is going to be critical thinking. And I don't think you can use these tools without being forced into a critical thinking conversation. What's good, what's bad, what's ethical, what's morality, what's consciousness. All of the questions that people are asking here about, consciousness and morality and what is the meaning of all this stuff. Like that's the conversations we should be in right now. And like you can only have those conversations if you're using the tools. You can't have it from the outside. And that's the thing that's really frustrating right now, is that there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions about the theoretical possibilities of what these tools are going to do to us, as opposed to saying, how can we use these tools to do something in the world, right? They're just two very different mentalities. It's going to be the greatest thing for humanity. I really think that's as real a possibility as it's going to kill us in 10 years. But it's up to us to actually use the tools for good, to have a disproportionately positive effect. So that's the trajectory this stuff takes. Let's see. I'm a programmer and an artist and crazy deep into AI. Awesome. I love creative people in this, and creative geeks are my favorite, because when you can wield these super powerful tools with creativity, like there's just nothing better on the planet. You can also use AI in video game development. Yeah, the video game industry is just going to be like the indie game market, when you can start to just generate 3D worlds and generate game mechanics by describing them. Holy shit, the renaissance of new gameplay, like where we end up with AAA quality games, from a couple of kids or a couple of old men, screwing around over a month or two. Like that world's coming. It's going to be wild. We will depend on AI for medical advice. In fact, they just did a study where people were talking to real doctors and ChatGPT doctors, And the people preferred the ChatGPT doctors by a lot because they were better and they were more empathetic. So ChatGPT might also help doctors with shitty bedside manner to get better at it. That would be nice, huh? Paper trading uses real money. It doesn't use physical product. Okay, I don't know anything about stock trading, but I would say play with bots without your real money. And then if you get good at it and want to take a risk, then you can play with real money. I'm using ChatGPT while listening to this. Perfect. That's the perfect way. Yes. So how do you learn ChatGPT? You just start playing with it. I worked on Wall Street for 2 years, actually. Pretty happy. I'm not there anymore. Yet my co-founder worked on Wall Street for years. She's happy she's not on Wall Street anymore. Also, any good IAs for UX UI layouts? If you go to the Midjourney, the official Midjourney group on Facebook and look up UI UX, you can do really remarkable UI UX designs with Midjourney. You can probably do it with Stable Diffusion as well, but Midjourney is just really good. So I would just go there and then look at the ones you like, and you can probably find the prompts in there. To be clear, the only thing Midjourney is going to do is basically do the layout. It's not doing layered kind of, any sort of object-oriented anything. There will be systems that do that, and I think there's even some right now that do it. But if you want to do truly like sort of killer UI UX design, do it in Midjourney. There's going to be lots of tools that you describe an interface and it'll just slap elements together. There's going to be a ton of that coming, and there's I would be surprised if there's not a ton of that out there already. So if you want to find sort of all the latest tools, if you really want to geek out on different specific tools, futurepedia.io. Come on, focus, nothing. Futurepedia is one that's got, you can probably find some UI UX tools in there. I need easy recipes for someone who hates cooking. So seriously, go to ChatGPT and say, I want you to act as a cooking coach for someone who hates cooking. And I want you to create a meal plan for the next week where no meal in the meal plan should take me more than 10 minutes to produce, right? Or 15 minutes, whatever your threshold is. Have it generate a meal plan with all the recipes, then have it generate a shopping list, and then have it organize that shopping list by categories of the grocery store, and then go buy them. Or go to, what's it called? Fresh Direct or whatever it is, and have it delivered to you. So it will do that brilliantly, quickly, like mind-blowingly. All right. If you're behind on chat, won't see this for a while. I just wanted to say thank you for your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just FYI, you can run these models locally and they don't require the internet. Yeah, some of the new open source ones are small enough that you can run them locally. It's pretty amazing. I mean, like, imagine that. So imagine in developing countries having the power of, ChatGPT on just a local device that doesn't require the internet, like for just even medical advice and things like that. Pretty remarkable stuff. All right. It is getting to be late. It's almost midnight here. I'm in Denver. Denver. AI will uproot our relationship with labor, and we will have to be cautious with AI slavery. Seriously. Yep. This is a concern of mine, that AI will require rights we aren't prepared to give them. Yeah, I know. The amount of significant issues that are going to have to be grappled with what work is, how companies produce value, just the sort of scale of disruption we're about to enter is just, I can't get my head around it. It doesn't mean I'm not excited, but there's a lot of change coming. AI will be mechanically aware. It's separate and potentially free to do what it likes at some point. Yeah, I guess so. Figma has a plugin where you can give it a URL and it'll record the whole site for you, or recode the whole site for you. Yeah, that kind of stuff's cool. For people that created that site, they're probably a little cranky about that. But that's the thing, is like, everything's going to be automated, right? All musicians are going to be pissed off that anyone can just recreate music in their style. All site builders, all programmers, all writers, all consultants, all work is going to be disrupted in ways we can't imagine. Can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, I'm going to do a few more of these, and then I am going to hang it up for the night. Let's see. I appreciate you all being here. Wow, we still got 100 people here. That's amazing. Hey, everybody. You're awesome. Tap that screen. Say hello. or if I put you all asleep. All right. We're going to get Mother Netflix show in real life. I haven't watched it yet, but I should. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Black Mirror stuff, a lot of the sci-fi stuff that you're like, oh, that's years away. It's like this year. It's like, oh shit, is it coming that fast? Like, oh my. I read a paper. I've read that paper. It's phenomenal. The Village with all the AI NPCs. Yeah, that generative agents paper is really remarkable. It's really good. Very interesting. Where can I find good prompts for article writing? I would just Google prompts for article writing, ChatGPT, go to YouTube, go to prompts.chat, and tell ChatGPT to act as an award-winning Condé Nast, writer editor, and to be your coach and teach you how to write an article the way it wants articles written or something like that. Just tell it what you want it to be, and it'll be that pretty good. It understands this stuff. It's almost like the more the more sophisticated you interact with it and tell it what you want, it gets better and better and better. Basically, more organic design with reduced material for structural rigidity. I don't know what that's about. That might have been about UI, UX, but it might be something else. Can AI bypass or break codes and have access to all satellites, media, and war weapons? Well, there's your dystopian future right there. Yes, it probably can. Like, I could imagine, a bad actor creating an autonomous agent that goes and seeks out vulnerabilities in systems and exploits them. And it does that autonomously while the hacker sleeps. You can, and you could probably have it say, go exploit the systems, give me root access, and text me when I have root access. Text me a hyperlink to my login when I have root access to the satellite. So yeah, that'll be a fun headline when CNN splashes that one. Oh, good Lord. All right. AI ethics seems like it will be one of the most pressing issues. Yep, I agree. Am I the only goof that gets creeped out, though? No, you should absolutely be creeped out and excited at the same time. Like fear and optimism can not peacefully coexist, but they can coexist in us. And I think that's the right balance. Is you should be both terrified and excited. Yes, critical thinking is here. Critical thinking is going to be the skill. Revenge of the liberal arts major. Horizontal thinking, not vertical thinking. So if you're super specialized in a thing, I think you're most at risk. If you can see the bigger picture, these tools can do all the tactical stuff. That's sort of the mentality we're moving into. Critical thinking, strategy, curation, refinement. Those are all skills that remain super critical. Specific tactical execution becomes less critical. But if you've got really deep, specific skills, you're going to be better at wielding AI than someone without those tools. So everyone should be learning the AI, even if you're a specialist. AI will be the most democratized technology we've ever known. I think largely because of ChatGPT. I think it precipitated all of this stuff being dumped out of these other companies. I know. I know. All right, I gotta go. I'm getting yelled at. AI will uproot our relationship with labor. Um, da, 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 da.
Garbage.
Oh, I got to take garbage out. Sorry. Real life calls. It's not all about AI. Sometimes the garbage has to be taken out. You know, people, you understand what I'm saying? I'm getting roses for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, tomorrow is garbage day. All right, I'm going to do one more and then I will leave. Let me pick a good one. We should all be philosophy majors. That was a good one. Let's see. It's been fun. I'd love to chat sometime. I've got tons of AI shit to share. Yeah, drop me a line. Drop me a DM or an email, and let's chat. All right, I just watched. Let's see. Thank you, Kyle, for a stimulating conversation. All right, I think we're wrapping it up here. So, is there any good comment I can comment on? There was something about EMPs. No, I think that's good. All right. Thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure. I've had fun. I hope you have. You've hung out with me, so I appreciate that. Peace, everybody. Talk soon.